Yo, what up? I'm Damon Campbell, founder of Music'sMyLife.com, checking into the rehab tour here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Joining me is Lecrae, who is at the forefront of Christian hip-hop. Would you like to introduce yourself further?
Yeah, what's going on? This is your man Lecrae, a.k.a. Creasy, a.k.a. Crayola. Just a bond-serving man. I love speaking truth through my lyrics, so that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Now, to show you my appreciation for your time, I know you're working up an appetite out here. Stopped by around the corner on the way here.
He loves me and hates me at the same time, yo.
Some Krispy Kreme for you.
That's what's up, man. This is a terrible addiction of mine, and so he loves me and he hates me at the same time. He's feeding my addictions. It's cool though.
Maybe I could there's two in there. Maybe I'll just take one of them and.
You want to share the burden?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get through it together.
We'll pray about it actually, because I don't know. You gave them to me.
Okay.
So I may have to just. It's cool though. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, it's extremely unfortunate, but Christian hip hop oftentimes gets kind of a bad rap, pun intended for the rap part.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at it as maybe an oxymoron. Some people would even go as far as to say that some of it's corny.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that I think you do it so well and that you're so successful with it is that not only are you authentically Christian, but at the same time, you're authentically hip-hop. What measures do you take to ensure that you're offering a quality product?
I think that's crucial. It's just, this is what I do. This is the what I feel like God has created me to do in so many ways, and it's a craft. And I think, you're supposed to be skilled in your craft, whatever it is that you do. So, just like I wouldn't ask somebody to come build my house just because he's a Christian. Like, I want you to be a home builder, a good carpenter before you can come build me a house. So your faith really doesn't have a whole lot to do with it in that moment. Well, I say so in the same regard. I think they're like, well, I want your music, but it needs to be good music. And just because you're a Christian doesn't mean I'm going to buy your music. And so I think, and some people aren't Christian and they like the music just because it's quality. So we really work hard to put our best foot forward with the music. And I think that if you want people to listen to your message, then you really do have to put your best foot forward in your craft. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, in Jesus Walks, Kanye West says, "So here go my single dog, radio needs this." They say you can rap about anything except for Jesus. That means guns, sex, lies, videotape. But if I talk about God, my record won't get played. How do you overcome this misconception that Christian music is, meant to condemn the listener, so that you can not only be embraced by the religious community, but reach out to the secular world as well?
Yeah, I think there's been some great forerunners for me in terms of reaching the religious community, and I feel like a forerunner for helping new artists reach into a mainstream audience. I don't think I'm as successful as we'd like to see me be in that arena, but I think there's some roads being paved, relationships being built. And I think when people get to know you and they say, okay, like, this is like the dude isn't trying to come in here and beat us over the head and punch us in the stomach. Like, he's sincere and he cares about us. And so I think for a long time it was just seen like, oh, the Christians are here to smash and condemn us. And that's not true. Some of us are worse than you are in terms of character, in terms of lifestyle, but we still have an unending hope, and that's the hope that we're trying to present to people. So I'm trying to present people hope. I'm trying to present people truth and answers and purpose, not beat them up and tell them how horrible they are. Some of them already know they're horrible, but they don't know what the solution to that or the root of that horribleness is. So that's what I'm here to do.
Now, as somebody in music who's almost representing the exact opposite as this group of people, I feel like it's important for people to hear your perspective on this. Tyler, the Creator,
Yeah.
who is an unashamed atheist. And his collective, Odd Future, Wolfgang Kill Them All, are stirring up all sorts of controversy, not just for their antics, but more importantly, you know, the content of their music. Lecrae, as somebody who with your own music spreads the word of the gospel, what's your take on their movement? And do you feel like their music is, and again, I don't know how much of it you've heard, but if their music is kind of devil worshiping?
I mean, technically, if we get like scriptural and technical, everybody who doesn't love Jesus is ultimately following what the Bible calls the prince and the power of the air. Like, you're just following your own passions and your own lusts, and you're just kind of running a rat race. And so some people are more vocal about it and more candid about it, and some people realize it and recognize it and are adamant about it. I wouldn't say when I listen to their music that they're like these well thought out atheists who have this robust view of theology, and they're like, so this is the choice I'm making. It sounds like just teenage angst and just rebelliousness and just wanting to go against the grain in every way possible. And like, it sounds like, man, I don't want any authorities over me, and I don't want any body trying to make me believe or think what I don't want to believe and think. And that's not hard to refute. Like, it's easy to refute that. Like, if I could sit down and have a conversation with them, I'd love to. You know, it's not tough to say, hey, man, listen, you haven't really investigated everything there is to investigate to make a conscious decision that Jesus is not Lord, and that, you know, when you're smashing on Jesus, when you're saying stuff on your album that smashes on Jesus, it's like, have you consciously thought about what you're doing? Probably not. You're just probably just being rebellious. So
if I were to interview Tyler, the Creator, what's something, because you mentioned if you had the chance to sit down and talk to him, what's one thing that you would like me to ask him on your behalf?
I think ultimately something that I would ask somebody like Tyler, the Creator, is what do you live for? You know, and I'm sure he'd have a response. I live for X, Y, Z. And I'll say, well, why? You know, and whatever his answer is, he may have a why. And I say, is that good? And, you know, hopefully he would say, yeah, it's good. And I say, well, what is good? And where do you get your standard of good? Because standards have to come from somewhere. And if there's no standard of good or evil, then why live like, you know, your life is significant? Why pursue things? Why have dreams? Why have passions? It doesn't matter. Your life doesn't mean anything because there's no God and there's no standard and there's no purpose. So when you cry at the MTV Video Awards, you're excited for winning that. Why? Because it's significant to you, but it shouldn't be, because nothing matters. So you're the source of your significance now, and the only thing that matter to you. So now you're essentially God, and you're significant, but if you don't believe there's a God, then there's no such thing as significance because there's no standard. And then he probably would be confused, and we'd have to have some more conversations.
Okay. Lecrae, thank you so much for your time. It's
Appreciate
great talking
man.
to you.
Absolutely.
You could pick up The Rehab Deluxe, The Overdose,
yes, sir,
and Man Up, not just the movie, but the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, go get them. They're out now.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was created by God, but I ain't wanna be like him, I wanna be him. The Jack Sparrow of my Caribbean. I remember the first created being, and how he shifted the blame on his dame for fruit he shouldn't have eaten. And now look at us all out of Eden, wearing designer fig leaves by Louis Vuitton, make believe it. But God sees through my foolish pride, and how I'm weak like Adam, another victim of Lucifer's lies. But then in steps Jesus.